So let's talk about emergency landings. My name is Ivan Dietlefs, and I just want to start by saying I'm not a certified flight instructor, just it's just my personal experience of being a pilot. You can see I'm flying with my flight instructor there on the right, and this was done in preparation for my PPL revalidation. Oh, so we just had an engine failure. First thing that I was taught to do is just to keep the airplane level, and as soon as I get close to my best glide speed, I'll dip the nose and then trim for the best glide speed. Best glide speed is the speed at which the aircraft will cover the maximum amount of distance across the ground. This is obviously useful because it gives you more options as to a field that you could reach. So the next thing that I'm doing is I'm identifying a field and turning towards that field. You obviously want to land in a field that is, nice and level, looks quite smooth, doesn't have any obstacles, but it's also important that you are landing into the wind. You obviously want to land into the wind because it will minimize the speed at which you land relative to the ground, so it's safer. And the other reason is that it reduces your ground roll, so you need less of a runway or field to land, because it's quite possible that the field that you want to land on is quite short. So the next one that I'm doing is some fault finding, and so to keep things simple, as I go from left to right, the things that I focus on specifically is changing tanks. So fuel pumps will go on, change tanks, and then the magnetos I would cycle them. After that, I do a mayday call. So I would do mayday, mayday, mayday. I would say who I am, nature of the emergency, and what I'm intending to do. Then I would brief my passengers. I would tell them to remove any sharp objects. I would tell them to assume the brace position on my call, which would be just before impact, and also to unlatch any doors. It's important to have the doors unlatched when you land, because there's quite often, or there's very possible that it could be damaged, and if the door is latched, it could get stuck, and you need to get out of the aircraft as soon as possible. So now I'm securing the aircraft. I basically accepted that the fault finding isn't working, and I want to avoid any surprises. A surprise, for example, is if the engine comes on for 10 seconds and goes off again. That's very dangerous, because it would obviously throw off my approach, and I could overshoot the field and land in the bushes or something like that. So it's fuel off, magnetos off, master stay on, because I need to use the flaps, and also for the radio. Yeah, now it's about just flying the aircraft down into the field. What I like to do is I like to fly perpendicular to the field that I'm going to be landing in. So flying up and down perpendicular to it, basically doing S turns, and then at the point where I'm feeling that I'm at the right height, I will then turn towards the field. At this point I'm turning towards the field. You can see my hand there goes to the switch for the flaps, and I will use the flaps when appropriate. You want to make sure that you're going to reach a field before you use the flaps, because the flaps will obviously reduce gliding distance, but the flaps are important because it will minimize the speed at which you touch down. As you can see, it's right on the money. There my instructor decided to go around, so he's adding power, and you can see he's very happy. There comes the congratulations. Okay, so I'll keep quiet now, then we can have a look at the other attempts.